we're about to go somewhere odd now. Times to rise and elevation starts to drop down. Our little secret, don't kiss and tell, you're so bad. I'll probably see you in hell. Welcome to hell, baby. This is podcast hell.
I'll probably
Liz!
No, stop. Seriously, she's working. Leave her alone.
I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Professional.
So there's one rule. There's one rule.
Don't talk to Liz.
Don't talk to Liz.
Don't talk to Liz. I think it's funny that like she's viewable in the camera,
Yeah.
but just the back of her head working.
I think that you should always
That's the vibe. If I'm sure you've not know neither of you listened to the podcast, but if
No,
you
I have. I mean,
have you?
Yeah, I haven't listened to
watch
like
it.
the entire podcast, but I've listened to it in 3-4 minute spurts.
As long as it's, I need to start cutting up YouTube clips of shorter.
Yeah, there was that one. Well, okay, are we going or what are we just talking?
I don't know. There's no like. I'm not going to be like, and now coming on to the podcast.
Wow, I wish there was.
I usually do that before.
Okay.
So there'll be like
there'd be a little part.
There'll be a
you
scene.
do.
There'll be a scene before where I'm like, I mentioned the podcast sponsors.
Yes. Who's that? This
Well, actually, for this episode, I might not have. It's actually I should make Jim.
Yeah. Can we get those monitors, Acer monitors?
That is the other rule. Don't say anybody's name.
Okay.
That was the actual rule I wanted to say.
No names.
No,
Bleep
just
it
because I
out.
have to fucking bleep it, and I don't want to go back and I'll forget. I've had many episodes where somebody said,
"Am I allowed to say his name?"
No, please don't.
Unless you don't want
Sir?
your name
I don't want to be named.
Gentlemen. Fellas?
Do you actually not want to be
Buddies?
named?
Why would I know?
I don't know. I don't know.
I came out. I want to be anonymous, but I want to be
anonymous. He
on
wishes
camera
to remain anonymous.
and on microphone.
That's,
but please,
No, but so my sisters were going to do the show, and then they kind of got a little scared off.
Yeah. No. Well,
But-
we're talking about names. Your brother was on the podcast.
Yes, and
He wouldn't. You made a thing about he mentioned just everybody's name and you had to bleep it out.
Yeah, we started the podcast, and I go, I'll say his name, Christian. I was like,
We can name
I was
him.
like, you can't mention like people in the family because not everybody wants like a public profile.
That's fair.
And then he like at one point went through and named every single cousin we have. And
I
it
saw
was
that
literally
clip.
doing first and
Social
last
security
names.
numbers, addresses, like
blood
He was
type,
just reading them off a
just-
list. Like, what are you doing,
He was like,
buddy?
this person was here. This person was. I'm like, this isn't even a good story.
You witnessed a crime.
Yeah. Am I this short?
Well, you got to sit up, man.
Well, I didn't realize you were gonna sit like the fucking Terminator.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry. Well, if you're wondering out there in podcast world, is this from college, right?
They weren't wondering, but tell them the story.
It's just from college. That's all it is.
that's the end of that story.
That's very
good.
simple. You don't have to cut it. You have to do a quick cut. So, this is a sweater, a festive sweater.
It's very festive.
We got you're a festive.
Yeah, I went festive today.
Eric decided not to.
What's the tat?
That's my wife and my 2 kids, my
Love
3
it.
lives.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, super nerdy.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So we're going to talk about our relationship. I mean, because we're not comedians.
We
we have comedians
I'm a
on
comedian.
there. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, Sean's a comedian.
Wow, wow.
Hey, sorry. It's some. I'm heckling him. I'm heckling him.
Not a successful comedian.
Look, he's getting there. He's getting there.
Sure. Yeah,
We're not like the regular guests that you have.
Yeah, the regular guests have are
Real
like,
comedians.
No, the regular guests they have are just slightly less unsuccessful than you, but not even really. Like you also have a family, so I'd say
a
overall.
successful job and a family.
Let's do that.
I mean, and you were the class president.
I
let's be honest.
I basically haven't had kids, so I can have 3,000 more Instagram followers than you.
That's a fair
been
trade.
the trade-off.
That is a fair trade.
Each child is worth about 1,500 Instagram followers.
It's an extra like 15 hours a week you can work on podcasts. and stuff
I mean,
like
literally,
that,
when we talk about possibly quitting,
Yeah.
not quitting like comedy, but just like trying to make it a full-time job. That's always the thing is like, yeah, the second we have kids, this is over.
Yeah,
I see people with kids and they're just like,
dude.
Well, you could still do it, just not how many. How many podcasts
you could do it, but
release,
just not be a good father,
like a
so.
month or. Yeah, I would focus on the podcast, not the father. That's overrated.
Well, you said that half jokingly, but it's
No.
100%. All the great comics, they're
Are
all
just-
terrible fathers.
Not everybody can be Jim Gaffigan, apparently. So
Yeah, and he has like
Yeah.
5 or 6 kids or something crazy.
yeah, but then they just live in the same tiny apartment in New York City, and then they
Well, yeah.
Now
the
I'd
Catholic
imagine
birth
it's a
control.
very
We all
nice.
know we're all Catholic or former Catholic.
remaining. I don't know. Are you still remaining Catholics?
I would say I'm still a pretty decent Catholic. I would say that by other Catholics' standards, probably not. But I still go to church when it works out.
Yeah, I remember.
I vote Democrat, so
no. So you're bad.
So then no.
I'm not. I don't think I'm Catholic. I'm not really religious, but I always remember this one time I went to church.
That one time.
Well, when I was a kid, one of many times, and the priest was like, it was like a holiday, so a bunch of people were there. Usually, there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah,
and he goes, "The church stinks of rotting flesh from all the dead souls that come on the holiday." Like, he was all pissed.
Yeah,
that he was getting like the fair weather Catholics.
That happened.
But it was fucking. And I remember as a kid being like, "Yeah, get him, Father Taylor," or whatever the fuck it was. But now I'm like, well, dude, way to like fucking shit on your audience. I mean, that's your big show. You got to try to pull them in for the year.
Listen, sometimes it's just where crowd work takes you. You know, just you got to insult the audience a little bit, then it gets you to love them a little bit.
I do.
It's called
we
negging.
went to one of those. Really stopped going almost. Except for the holidays. And the guy, the priest, started talking about porn and how sinful it was for the homily. The entire homily.
Which church do you go to?
This was a church where the in-laws
Church
live.
of getting down.
Okay.
Getting freaky.
And I was like, we were looking around all dressed up in our nice, Christmas wear, and he's like, and porn is a problem.
Well,
starts talking about it. So and I'm like, well, to be honest, if you guys could, view that, a lot less serious things could happen right now. So,
so
that's probably true.
At my local church, this was a couple years ago, but there's this one priest who's freaking insane. And so it was Halloween. It was literally Halloween. So you think it's like, all right, I pretty much know what the, homily is going to be today. It's like, yeah, don't devil worship. Halloween's bad. No, this guy goes into this long tirade about how yoga is evil. Yoga is evil.
Have you ever watched yoga?
How getting tattoos is evil because tattoo artists put satanic symbols on their tattoo guns. So when they tattoo you, they are consecrating you to the devil. And then how pornography is evil, not for how you think the obvious answer would be why a priest would say pornography is evil, but for the same reason that pornographers put satanic symbols on their cameras.
It's all about capitalism.
So when they are filming it, they are literally just sitting there in the audience. What the hell is going on?
Ever tried to film a porn without a satanic signal on it? It doesn't work. Like, it shuts down.
You won't get that quality.
It really puts it in HD focus when you put that, satanic symbol on it.
Yeah, if you take that off, the actors just look at each other and start talking about being non-exclusive and not having sex before marriage. It kind of ruins
it.
It's
the satanic symbols that really make it spicy.
I do miss the old, I'm old enough to be like, when I first looked at porn, there was more of like storylines and stuff. And it was like, a pizza had to be delivered. A fax machine was broken. And now they get right into like, fucking bukkake. But back in the day, you had to really
quality.
Earn the money shot.
Nobody wants to work ananymore. That's just what this all comes down to.
I did like that you had to be a little more of like an actor or an actress. Like it wasn't just the straight into it.
Well, they have, that Pirates movie, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that I think was made famous because it was like mostly a high quality movie.
It had the same budget as like a Hollywood movie.
And then you had the porn section. So,
yes,
But and not only that, it was such a whatever. They made an edited version where they cut out all the sex. Because they had put so much work into it that then there was like,
hey kids, want to watch a movie?
It was still pretty like
without the sex,
but the wrong version.
They cut out all the sex. So it was basically just like a knockoff Pirates of the Caribbean.
Like, did the movie skip? Oh, that's weird.
I feel like we missed something there. Why are they all so tired and sticky?
That might be the most Catholic thing you could have said, that you watched the Pirates porn movie without the sex scenes.
Oh no, I didn't say I watched it. I just said I'm aware of it. No,
I read an article about it.
But then I have a joke about this where one of the main actors in that movie is a porn star, Evan Stone. You guys know who that is?
Stone.
Yeah, okay. Apparently not a lot of people do. I ran into him. I saw him at my Walmart because they were the Exotica, like the big adult entertainment expo was going on at the Dulles Expo Center, which is right by where I live. And I ran into him at Walmart, and it's so funny because like he's wearing this long, shiny black duster, like just so immediately that stands out in my head. Like it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I know this guy. Why do I know this guy? And then it's like, oh shit, I know what this guy's dick looks like. That's Evan Stone.
It's like, why am I getting this boner? Now I remember.
And then, but I had already said out loud because to my wife and my kids, like, I think I know that guy. And then I went and put it together, and they're like, oh, where do you know that guy from,
Really?
Dad? I was like, you know what? I don't know that guy. Don't worry about it.
Did you talk to him or you just saw him?
No. It was very much like he was, because by the time I put it together, he'd already left. He literally was checking out because they had, stuff going on at the expo center next door, and he clearly needed his coconut water. I don't know.
Probably coconut water.
Probably.
Or Vaseline
Just
would be the
something
two
like that.
items. I mean, coconut water, yeah, because coconut makes your jizz taste.
That's what
better. That's just being a good co-star.
That's just being
That's just being a
considerate.
conscientious
That's
guy.
just,
You gotta be professional.
I will say, if you in 2024, if you're or when this actually will come out in 2024.
Oh, so it's not even the Christmas episode.
What's this, the New Year's episode?
Well, actually, now that
I look like an idiot.
well, since
this is the MLK episode.
Hang on. Since my own family bailed on me for the Christmas episode, now you guys actually might be the Christmas episode.
Merry Christmas.
Merry.
Happy New Year.
We're the new family.
If you see a tall, handsome man wearing a duster in 2024, it's either a male porn star or the Undertaker
Which
from his American Badass
I would
phase.
be so excited if it was the Undertaker.
I mean, hell yeah.
It would just be.
Everybody loves his dead man stuff, but like I liked when he like would come out on the motorcycle to Kid Rock and just and like clunkily try to get his motorcycle around the ring.
Every entrance was 15 minutes long because he had to ride down.
They call me cowboy.
They played like the song like twice because it took that long. And meanwhile, like the guy in the ring is just doing that like trying to.
Did it ever break down?
Start. He's just like pushing himself down the.
Where's the backup motorcycle?
It's just so. It's so funny because there clearly wasn't enough space for a huge motorcycle to come do a circle, so it took him a while to.
He basically did kind of walking around those corners. He's just like, just doing this type of.
He should have just gotten off and walked it like a kid with a bike that he's too scared to ride. Like, I mean, you see
Holding
it.
it next to him.
It hits the accelerator by accident,
Yeah,
jolts forward.
kills the Spanish announcers table. They always put them through the Spanish announcers table first, which seems, you look back on it now and you're like,
Well, now they mix it up. It's not always the Spanish announcers table. It could be the main announcer table.
nice.
So yeah, I still clearly watch wrestling. And it's really because now all of what used to be the pay-per-views are now what they call premium live events, and they're all on Peacock. So because I have Peacock, it started as like a bit like 2 years ago. It was like the Royal Rumble was on. I was like, kids, guess what we're doing tonight? We're watching the Royal Rumble. And I put it on, and they were just like, "What the hell is this?" And I was trying to explain, but then
weird.
I didn't know who any of the people were because I hadn't watched in like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So then I did that thing where I was like, all right, well, now I have to watch Raw because I need to understand who these people are. So then I watched Raw, and then I watched SmackDown, and then I've been watching now for 2 years.
Now you just can't stop.
And
got
then the
involved
wrestling
in this.
uniform came in the mail, and I studied moves
I
down
have
in the
my
basement. And the
luchador
children know not to
mask
disturb
and-
me after 7 p.m.
Yeah.
I really had to get back into it.
That's Daddy's
And
wrestling
I make
time.
my debut next week at end of the year Raw.
Would you ever get into amateur professional wrestling? Could you
Amateur professional
Could you take a
wrestling?
bump?
Probably not.
It almost kind of ruins it now because there's so many like things you can watch that are just being like, this is how we cut ourselves. This is
Yeah.
how we do this. This is
Yeah.
how- where you're like, I don't want to always know how everything is
You don't
done.
want to know how the sausage is
Yeah,
made.
like the only thing I feel that way about is magic. When someone does a magic trick, I immediately am like,
I have to know how
the
you did that.
fuck did you do that? I don't like being
Go to
tricked.
hell.
I know
David
that's
Blaine.
not real. I need to know how that happened.
That's the only time I wish we would go back to like Salem witch trial stuff. It's just like somebody's like, ooh, where did this card come from? I want to be like, cut his head off. Cut his fucking
Throw
head
him in
off.
the river. See if he floats.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of being
Close-up
dazzled by a fucking
You don't like
trick.
to be misled,
I don't like being, I don't like the lie.
even as entertainment.
Yes, it pisses me off. We went to there's a place in LA called the Magic Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went there You have to get like an invitation to go. It's like
Is it really that? Because I've heard about it. And
it's
I know
like a
it's
big thing.
Neil Patrick Harris apparently hangs out there a lot.
Yeah, he was one of the people, one
Yeah.
of the fucking tricksters.
So you threw a chair at him.
He was there. No, it was so I went with Liz and like we sat down at a table and there was a guy doing card tricks and he picked me to like do stuff. And I was just giving him such bad attitude that he switched off of me to somebody else, which you're not supposed. Like, I think the magician knows to find a creative way to be like, this guy's not gonna play. This guy doesn't want.
So you went, you paid money to go to a magic show, knowing you would hate it.
I didn't pay money.
Oh,
It's an invitation.
oh, okay.
And it was like somebody. We were going there because someone was. It was like a party,
yeah.
so we didn't have to pay for anything. I was just taken there against
I'm
my
gonna have
will.
a bad time tonight, Liz.
I mean, look, I didn't. I want to. I can have a good time while having a bad time. I
Yeah.
think that's one of my better traits.
Sure.
Because I can still laugh about it and I have a sense of humor.
That's good.
But I would never go. I would never like pay to be like, ooh, oh, he's frozen in ice. Fuck that. Get out of that ice.
It's impossible. You would die.
He doesn't even do his tricks. Those types of David Blaine's. Those aren't even tricks.
Yeah.
That's just he's just really cold.
You've seen the Harrison Ford video where he does that.
Get out. Somebody, okay, so a guy did that to me. I got chosen to go on
Get
stage.
the fuck out of my
I'm
house.
not kidding, dude. He fucking put my money in an orange.
He took it from me.
But I figured out how he did it.
How? We're gonna reveal a secret.
Yeah, I think I know how they do it. I think they cut a little thing in the top of the orange, and then they just know they're the trick to all of it is their fucking hands, man. Their hands are so quick. They've got like fucking.
I mean, that's
it's all hands.
That's speed hands.
So I think they're masters of deception. They're telling jokes. They get you to look somewhere else, and he just took my dollar and he pressed it into the orange.
Yeah.
And then he like
isn't that
cut
like
it.
90% of all of that?
Yeah,
just misdirection.
But I just
and-
think but I think they're experts. Like they're expert
I would hope so.
misdirection.
I would hope
So
so.
they're pickpockets. They're thieves.
Yeah.
Is that magicians are thieves?
I do believe that there are like I've seen people talk that it's the same type of like talent that's involved with being able to take stuff because I mean a lot of times you see like oh yeah and then is this your watch and then is this your belt
I
and
could never be in a relationship.
Is
with
this your
one of
pants?
these.
It just gets worse from there.
It's that's why it's all.
you call that a
Your Social
penis?
Security card.
It's all. Have you heard? First off, have you noticed it's all male magicians? There's like very few female
Mostly, yeah,
magicians.
yeah.
Yeah, why is
it's
that?
a sexist
Because we're
profession.
a little bit better at. It's not just because it's sexist. Because we're better at lying.
We're better at deception.
We have a biological advantage, and we're quicker than women. But there's also that. But I think it's.
That's gonna get cut.
Oh fuck it, that's gonna get clipped.
Yeah, it's gonna be the real right there.
That's the real right there. No, I think it's like I don't know. If I was like a lady and I was dating and that guy was perfect and then date 3, he's like, by the way, I do a little magic on the side. I would get up, I'd fucking walk out, and I would change my name, move to a different place. That guy knows too much.
What?
These people can't be trusted.
And then
so here's
with their
the-
skills.
You're at your first day at your new job in your new town, and then he's your boss, and
he just fucking little smoke bomb, and he shows up.
So
I'm telling you.
if you were dating someone or going out, like you said, what is the responsible thing to do if you do magic on the side? When do you reveal it in the relationship?
Oh, I don't think you do. I think you live a lonely life. I think I'm married to my magic. I can't have love. I chose to love the devil. And that is the choice I've made.
I think they film all their tricks with phones that have satanic symbols on them.
That's
I
probably
heard
why.
that somewhere. I heard that from a
circle
very
back down
reliable
around.
source. Callback.
You guys familiar with callbacks in the audience?
Anyone?
It's
Anyone?
comedic. It's a comedic thing. Nick wouldn't know anything about that. Not
No,
a comedian.
Not a comedian.
Just a musician.
Still a performer.
Yeah,
Still a performer.
Still have to get up there.
You have.
Still have to get up there.
Yeah,
It's that kind of a show. You got to get it up there.
Gotta
gotta
get
get
up.
up there. Perform.
What kind of like what do you think's we've got the two things that are like
The only two things out there.
the only two
comedy
things out
and
there
music.
comedy and music.
It's
Yeah.
definitely not magic.
Now which one do you think is better?
Better?
We'll go with you, then we'll go with you. If you had to choose, forget what you're good at. If you could choose what you were good at, would you be good at music or would you be good at comedy?
Comedy.
You know, it's funny because I've heard other comics talk about the same thing and I agree with it. I think all rock stars want to be comedians and all comedians want to be rock stars.
Yeah, I feel because I would in my fantasy, I'm not. Am I like I go to sleep? I'm not a great comic. I'm the lead singer in a band, and we're really good.
Yeah.
And we're playing in like clubs and people are fucking bouncing and all that shit. Yeah, it's
having actual talent and being able to, play music and
not
do
like
that stuff,
not like
just-
I learned to tell this story about my dad real funny.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's not a skill.
It hurts every time I tell it. Our heart is made of stone. I've told this 2,000 times.
That's why my stage name is Stoneheart. I don't go by Eric anymore.
Captain Stoneheart.
Eric Stoneheart or just Stoneheart?
Just Stoneheart.
Okay, fair enough.
Are you going to introduce you have a show tomorrow?
I do
Should
have
we
a show.
tell our audience this is going to come out after that show, though?
They'll and also
Go to the website.
Also, the audience is all my family who I've guilted into buying tickets.
So they'll
to the
already
show.
be
So
there.
they'll already be there.
So how was the show? How did you like
Did
it?
you guys have a good time?
Stoneheart was great.
How was
Killed
the,
it.
How was the opener? Just
I think I could get behind a name change. I could go behind like kind of like the black comic thing where it's Earthquake or something like that. I think Stoneheart could be a good fit for me.
Okay.
I think
you'd have to explain it every show, and
I think it would be
probably kill it.
a surprise every time. And it's like, I'm coming up next, Stoneheart, and then you walk out, and everyone just goes, "Huh."
But I don't think
Not what I pictured.
I don't think I would ever have to explain it though. I think I would just
get a
I mean, if
necklace
you-
with a rock
I
on
bet
it.
saying if you're
Yeah.
wearing
People-
questionable T-shirts, then people might.
I would look. I would feel comfortable with it. It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
I did enough. Like when I was really starting comedy in New York, I lived in Harlem, and I used to do a show on like 139th and like Malcolm X, and it was like I was the only white comic for months. So I was kind of like, I heard Bill Burr say this one time, I was like the mascot for white people at this show. But like I do think I could get into like one name comic zone and be comfortable. Like I was jealous that the other comics on that bill would do stuff like that.
I mean, it is cool, especially if you can pull it off.
I probably can't pull it. The thing is like you can pull off anything if you just don't care if people don't think you're pulling it off. That's the key to pulling it off is not giving a fuck.
I would say that is
Applies to
80%
many
of
things.
comedy
Yeah.
is just confidence. Is if you can get up there, and even if you're bombing hard, if you just are giving off the air of just like, no, this is exactly what I mean, you obviously did character work as Death, and you did all of that, and some of that I would say was a lot of that is
Stoneheart.
exactly
I
that.
should be Stoneheart. I think I've made the
Stoneheart,
decision.
you suck. See, even that sounds cool when someone says that.
Yeah.
Get off the stage, Stoneheart.
Stoneheart blows.
Stoneheart, we know your real name.
I think I'm going with Stoneheart moving forward.
All right, just changing all social media.
Yeah.
All
I mean, even in my personal interactions, I might insist that
tell your
people
wife just calls
Stoneheart.
and no pronouns either. It's
gotta
just
talk in third
Stoneheart.
person.
You're never referred to in the third
don't wanna.
person.
Stoneheart
Just
would like to
Stoneheart.
to open up a bank account. Excuse me? You heard Stoneheart.
Honey, could Stoneheart get a glass of water?
Is me a pronoun?
Sure.
Okay, I'll go. Yeah,
I don't know the rules.
I mean, nobody does. Let's not get into
Look,
that.
my kids are not old enough to explain it to me, but
Once they get to about 7, they'll
They'll
let you
start.
know
I got a
what's
couple
going
more.
on.
How old's your oldest?
12.
Yeah, so 12-year-old can explain things to Sean.
Let's get that 12-year-old in here so
yeah.
they can
Where
walk
can
us
we?
through.
Do we have a lifeline or whatever? Call a friend.
We have phones.
AT&T can provide us.
My son does not have a phone yet, though. That's
probably a good
something.
idea.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? Do you have like at this age you get your phone?
Eighth grade.
How old are you in 8th grade?
13.
Fuck.
So
he's got one more
I
year. He's in 7th grade right now.
I talked to another dad last night, and his kid is in freshman in high school. And
Don't say his name, but is this the guy that we were talking about before the show?
this is
Don't say their name. Okay.
No.
All right.
So anyway, freshman in high school has a phone, right? And I said, is that too early, too late? He's like, oh, don't do it. He said his son plays hockey, and the entire hockey team is on like a text thread.
Yeah.
And they just talk shit to each other. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
He also said that, I guess, in the locker room, you're not supposed to have your cell phones. And I guess he's like an assistant coach or something for the team, and they don't care. They just it's
too,
everywhere.
It's too addictive. It's addictive to me, and I'm an adult. I'm like, I can't imagine what it does.
It's also about
to
the
a kid
horrible
to have
things that can be shown in front of you, and I'm sure you have more experience than your kid has a phone or doesn't.
He does not.
Does not have a phone.
He does not
Yeah.
have a phone.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard
I
stories.
mean, it's a little more it's a little harder to see stuff now than it was. I mean, I don't know. I remember like when we were in college and like YouTube used to be wild. Like YouTube, you could go on YouTube and you could just be like, fucking dude getting beheaded. And it's just pops up right there. You can watch all of it.
Yeah.
So I think now you have to like at least like double click on something to make sure you want to see it. But the idea that all that
image is blurred.
No, I just don't think we're meant to be able to like see everything.
No.
It's not like when I was talking about the Roman Empire with somebody recently.
Okay.
And I was like, I caught myself being like, I wish there was fucking video of that. But dude getting eaten by a lion. Then I was like, wait, I don't need to see that. I don't need.
But maybe
I don't know though. At the same time, whenever I think of some random obscure movie from like our teenage years, and I suddenly want to know, and I can't find it streaming online, I get pissed. I'm just like, what do you mean it's not instantly accessible to me?
Yeah, I was trying to
There's
find
one movie that nobody's ever heard of.
I know you can't watch Joey. Remember the remember the
what is
French
that
sequel?
One? It was like one season.
2 seasons.
Oh, okay. I
And it's not bad.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I watched it. And Liz liked it too.
Yeah.
And we were like, we should sit down and watch Joey, and couldn't fucking find it.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, it's like.
Do I have to go to a store?
You have to,
buy it?
you have to go to NBC.
Yeah.
And just like.
Go Rockefeller.
Hello? You'd think it'd be on Peacock or something. They need something on there, but.
You just like Matt LeBlanc opens the door, and he's like, hello? You're like, hey, man, can you.
How you doing? It's be $500.
How you doing? I bet you could. Now that I'm thinking about it, I bet they did sell DVDs of Joey. So that's probably how you have to
100%.
watch it. Is you have to find hard copies.
Yeah. You can't even buy DVDs at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Soon to be, you won't be able to buy physical media at the Best Buy anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. You got to go to Sam Good's or was it Sam Good? What am I
Sam
thinking
Goody.
of? There's Spencer's.
Sam Goods. You
Sam
really
Goody.
said that like a fucking old man, didn't you? That's like what my dad does.
We went down to the Five and Dime and bought our DVDs.
We went down to fucking Chili. Like Chili's? It's always like he makes a plural singular or a singular plural.
Oh, I do. I unfortunately do that. I call Costco Costco's.
Costco's. That's the.
I call it Price Club.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Ooh.
I just
Battle
dated myself.
lines drawn.
That's what it used to be.
Well, they merged because for a while it was Price Costco, and then they just went with Costco.
Well, Price Costco's a stupid name.
Yeah, Costco fucking rules though.
Yeah, dude.
We just got a membership near our house.
Oh,
and
congrats.
Great.
Executive or
Are you an executive?
What's executive?
Oh, look at this peasant.
Nick's doing,
he doesn't
Nick's
know.
Doing, Nick's doing very well. Nick gets executive.
Bitch, I'm an executive member.
so when you-
Are you?
let's
Well, what's the?
so. Yeah, when you go in, there's a little private lounge where they have all the free samples, so you don't have to walk around the store.
Shut
You
up.
They're not handled
You
by
get-
everybody
That's
else
not real.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is.
That's not real.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying
You
no.
also get Christmas, all the Christmas decorations 5 months early. They're just there year round, pretty much.
But only in a special back room.
Well, what's the thing below executive?
regular?
Poor.
Regular.
No. Wait. Listen, you already. Not everybody can go to Costco. You have to have a membership. So there's two memberships.
Yeah.
It's very exclusive.
Yeah.
There's a regular.
Yeah.
And there's an exclusive.
Yeah.
Executive.
How
That's
much
it.
more is the executive?
I don't know.
You didn't even think about it. You're just like, they're like, would you like regular? Or you were like, whatever your highest is.
I will take
Put
two.
it on. Put
I'll
it on the
take
card.
Why am I talking like that in that scenario?
Like, don't touch my cape.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
You don't know the difference in price. You don't know the difference
Oh,
Yes,
in
I
price.
do.
What is the difference?
It's $60
for the year.
It's an extra $60 for the year. Yeah.
Well, fuck.
See.
Why we should have done executive.
And then so you get
spread that
and then,
out
no,
over
you,
a
you know
whole
what-
year. It's
You know what
not
the
a lot.
Like
you know what
nothing.
the only difference is? You get 2% back on all purchases at Costco as an executive member.
so then you would definitely make that back.
So that's the thing. If you spend a certain amount, you can do the math and it makes sense. And I had that happen to me at Costco. That's literally what happened. It's like because they for a while they would just like hound you. It's like, you should sign up for an executive member. You should sign. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And one time the guy was literally just
Smack the
like,
guy.
look,
Just trying to check out.
He literally said, he's like, look, I don't really care either way. I just want to show you. Like he literally turned the screen and I was like, here's how much you've spent at Costco this year. You would have already gotten your money back at this point. I was
Oh,
like,
that's a good sale.
I want
Sign
one of
me up,
those
then.
giant reindeers.
sign me up.
So I do sales. I always appreciate hearing like a
Yeah,
good.
we can
How
pay.
do you stop somebody in their track? You just got to get somebody to stop and listen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, everybody has a good reason for you to buy their product, even if their product sucks.
Yeah. And
But
this was at the return counter, so I wasn't even shopping. I literally was returning something, and the guy was just like, "Look, that's what he said. He's like, this isn't even my job. I'm just showing you.
I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here.
I want to get home to my family and help me help you."
As soon as you walked away, he turned to his boss, who obviously pays him to sell that.
Yes.
And he went, "Got him! That dumb motherfucker! Fish in a barrel! Fucking scumbag piece of shit!
Hey,
got him!"
Well,
the old fake screen that shows fake numbers did it again.
It's like
people,
a crayon drawing.
$60. So
he fell for that one.
So like when I sell stuff, I have like a very like consultative, like rapport building approach.
Sure.
If people knew the things I was saying about them 5 seconds after the call hangs up, they would be horrified. I mean, I'm like on chats with my friend, another piece of shit locked, loaded, and ready to fuck. Like, I do not.
Your wife's like, Eric,
So basically,
can you please stop?
Everything that I've thought about salespeople, you've just confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if you're
Once you sell timeshare,
look, we sold.
Hey,
we didn't sell it.
I
lured
never sold
people
a
in.
timeshare.
We lured people in.
And the guy was like, listen, these people that come in, they're scum. They're the bottom of the barrel. I'm like, what?
Don't feel bad about taking advantage of them.
I mean, literally,
I couldn't
like,
even get people to. I never sold a timeshare because I it's an emotional sale. You do a quick presentation. You're like, your family is time. You need to take vacation. The average American doesn't have any vacation time. Come enjoy it with us. You'll have a wonderful time.
Yeah, that's why you didn't sell that voice you're using.
I was about to say,
Yes,
you did like a
very-
little accent there. What was? That was throwing
please
people off.
buy.
Are you a Victorian era street
I don't
urchin?
know.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
I wouldn't buy a timeshare from a Victorian era street
it's
urchin. I was
the
like, what do
main-
you
I was
know
like,
about luxury?
Nick, please talk in your normal voice. But I like to talk in this voice.
I think I'm onto something, governor.
like I'm an old vampire trying to sell
you're selling
timeshare.
Transylvania.
Yeah. And again, you just have to be like, listen, this is a horrible deal, but I got to make some goddamn money.
Yeah, you have to do this, or I'm going to kill you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to have to beat
At least
you
the
up,
Costco
but-
guy made it worth it. Like, this is like, they show you the executive suite that you're not going to stay in because if you had that much money, you wouldn't be buying a timeshare anyway.
I do think it's like timeshares. You have to hate the person you're selling it to.
Yeah.
Because it's not, for most people, it's not a good product.
No.
But like the product I'm selling now is actually, I do think helps people.
Yeah.
So it's like I still have like, it's still at its core an adversarial relationship.
Sure. Yeah.
But I feel better afterwards, being like, okay, it is gonna like help.
yeah.
But it is like, there's no way getting around it. It's pulling something out of somebody that
Yes.
they wouldn't have bought by themselves.
Yeah.
You need
And it is
this.
it's always every sale is an emotional sale. So you just, it's just like, what's the thing you can say to make somebody, we call it salting the wound. Like you find their wound, and then you just fucking salt.
Well, how do you
just go a little salt? You go.
how do you get the wood? You got to stab him first,
No,
right?
no,
Like,
you
that's
ask them. You go like
step one.
You go like, so how long is so you've been in business for 5 years, yeah? And you signed up to get leads? I mean, does that mean that your pipeline's not looking that good? Oh, no.
Are you failing?
Yeah, like they'll be like, whatever. I talk to general contractors a lot, so I'll
Sure.
be like, the average, how booked out? If I had a job for you in 3 months, could you take it on? They're like, oh yeah, we could take it in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay.
I don't think you could.
The average general contractor is booked out for 3 to 6 months. Have you ever been booked out that average length?
Make him feel bad. You tear him down.
You make them
Salt.
say. You have to make them say,
Salt.
no, I suck. And then later on in the thing where they're like, let me think about it. I'm like, okay, well, you've been thinking about having 2 weeks of business for the last 4 years. I mean, you think you're ever going to change that? You just fucking suck this motherfucker. You kind of have to like.
You embarrass them, and you
embarrass them?
You
You-
step on their throat, metaphorically, of course.
I used to for timeshare it was worse. Like because like I would like.
Do you hate your family?
What
are you doing?
The things I would say to fathers in front of their kids, I'd be like, this guy should punch me in the face. Like I would really, really go after him. It's bad. I don't feel good. I don't feel great about the timeshare
Maybe
days.
he shouldn't have seen a salesman on Bring Your Kid to Work Day. I'm just saying that was,
Maybe you should have accepted that $100 I was promised him for a 2-hour presentation. That piece of shit.
Well, you quit the timeshare place before I did.
Yeah.
I stayed there for a year, but I never sold timeshare. I just did the presentation. I would like get people in.
We had a friend of ours that got like a DUI. I mean, it was just like, it was a toxic environment.
He fucking struggled in that. We gave him an intervention.
Yeah.
The worst intervention ever, by the way.
You guys gave somebody an intervention?
We did.
Yeah, it was not.
Oh, man. That must have
Don't ask us.
Yeah, we didn't. It wasn't.
I think we brought snacks.
How old were you
though.
guys?
21?
Yeah.
22?
Yeah, we were drinking.
Oh,
It wasn't like was it a drinking intervention?
I
what
don't.
kind of intervention is a drinking intervention? That sounds like the worst.
No,
you just set
we
yourself
weren't
up.
You
drinking.
want to be sympathetic, but you don't. We want to have a good time.
Listen, we don't have a problem.
probably went
Look,
and-
just because you have a problem,
I don't want
doesn't
this
mean that
intervention
we
to be
need
boring
to.
as shit. So let's,
Let's not.
I wanted to guarantee
open up a
people
tall
were gonna
boy
come
and see what happens.
and-
No, don't touch that. Don't touch that.
So there was
This
only,
is it's not my intervention.
it was
I
a
get
$5
myself into this
cover for the
situation.
intervention.
It is-
There should be a club called Intervention.
It is hard to do an intervention if like you're gonna keep doing the exact thing that you're telling the person they need to stop. Like if you like pounding them back, but you're like, bro, you're worse than me. You have to stop. But you're like that night, you're like,
But
why don't we go out tonight and celebrate your
Yeah.
sobriety with a couple drinks?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's hard.
The intervention is you needing the next intervention. Like you set them on the path that, oh God, this is how bad it can be. You show by example,
Yeah,
and they don't want to do it.
yeah.
So
that's the only intervention I've ever been a part of. Was the one that
You were
we
never
did.
asked
It worked.
to do another one.
we're 1 for 1.
We are
Hey,
one for one.
go out on a win. That's it.
know
You
It's-
should offer that service.
Don't say
on
the
your
name.
website.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's
Fun interventions.
drinking interventions.
Plan your intervention today.
Drinking interventions, not interventions for people that drink too much. Interventions where you get drunk while giving.
Was
the
it
intervention.
alcohol or was it the timeshare?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think it was mostly like the timeshare.
because another one of our friends
Yeah.
was a police officer.
Ah, yes.
You remember that?
Yep.
And we
Okay.
heard the story of the
That's
DUI,
right.
and
Yeah.
then the cop, our cop friend, was like, "This is what he actually did." We were like,
That's right.
We were like,
We knew
oh,
the truth.
Oh.
The whole truth.
We knew
Nothing
the whole.
but the truth.
We knew the whole truth in police report fashion.
Yeah.
So that was the genesis of it.
Yeah.
So this is, don't say the guy's name, but that guy.
Roger.
No.
Harry.
Stop it.
Okay.
The
Sorry.
first one was kind of close. The
Elon.
that guy.
Yeah.
I was gonna hang out with him last night,
Yeah.
and I was like, I told Liz I was just gonna grab a drink or two with blah blah blah. And Liz showed me a photo because I hadn't slept for 31 hours because we did a red eye last night. I couldn't sleep on the plane, and I went straight to work yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
So she showed me a photo of me like bleary, like how I looked in that moment. And I would call him being like, "Hey man, I can't come out. I gotta
gotta
I'm
sleep."
gonna fall asleep while
I gotta
I
driving.
slept for 15 hours last night.
Oh, really?
shit.
But like, yeah, I was tired.
Sean and I hate you.
But then I was thinking about it. Then I was thinking about it, and I was like, "Oh, I said I was gonna just get a drink or two with this guy," and then I remembered him, like us doing drinking a handle of Aristocrat outside a CNU hockey game. And then him projectile vomiting in front of with a group of people around him 20 minutes later.
Oh man.
And being like, oh, we probably would get more than one drink.
Yeah.
Whenever we get together, it's like, we crack them back.
Or just open a
Excuse
bottle
me.
of Aristocrat.
I mean, are we past that stage in our lives where we're doing handles of Aristocrat in
I
the
assume
parking
you
lot?
are. I'm past it. I
Yeah.
can't drink like that anymore. But I used to rage pretty hard back in the day.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Were you? We didn't go to college with you.
No, no one did.
How hard were you? You went to Catholic University.
I did, yeah. Actually,
Oops. Is that okay?
I don't care.
I don't know.
Why? We can name
You
places.
said you want to be
We are
anonymous.
in Maryland.
People do want to be anonymous on this podcast. That's not a crazy thing.
Okay,
So we
that's
are
fair.
anonymous because well, are you going to say our names, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you said don't say my name, I would just not put your name in the title, and it's just
Eric
people
with friends.
watch The Hang. They're not.
Yeah.
I'm not having fucking Tom Hanks on the show.
Wait,
Being like,
what?
so what was it like to be in Forrest Gump?
that's-
it's all my fucking.
That's your
That's
problem.
exactly what I would
friends, no
ask
That's your
offense.
too.
problem.
Yeah, maybe
No,
you
but
should
you
get
have
Tom Hanks
comedians,
on.
but we know you. But
Yeah.
who else do you have on besides like?
My comedian friends and my regular friends.
Okay.
But
you
I-
have,
but
you
I
have
don't-
friends out in L.A.
I have friends in LA. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I have
must be nice.
it's weird. Like I have different style friends. Like I've
Yeah.
got my comedy friends. I have my real life friends.
Yes.
And then I have the people that I'm friends with, but I'm like worried about them. I have friends.
Who are these? Okay,
I'm not going to name
how do
them.
you? Well, no, you don't have to go into detail. But how did you meet them?
You know,
like,
you have,
and you're like this. You got very concerned
No,
all
listen.
of a sudden. Like
you know, you
and
have
this one guy.
You know, you have.
Ugh.
You know, you have friends.
Yeah.
Where it's like I've known this person for many years.
Friends from
Friends that like
from school.
Yes.
Or like, you know, like for us, like the friends of our kids. You know, parents for kids' friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have friends like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I have
so like friends that live in your building. You know, your comedy
So
friends.
friends from like your like just from almost convenience sake of just
Sure.
people who are around you who are just happen
Exactly.
to be like in your
work friends,
orbit.
but you work remotely, right?
Yeah, so
you
I
don't
have-
work in an office.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have any like. I have people I get along with at work. I don't have any work friends.
Yeah.
I have my people I do comedy with. I have
Yeah.
got like my friends in comedy that like I would hang out with this person.
Sure.
Even if it wasn't a show.
Yeah.
Then I have like the people that I'm friends with because they're doing comedy near where I'm doing. And like
Okay.
we just have relationships, but like if they
Like
were
you go to
if they
the
were
improv.
if they were right across the street and I saw them walking, I would
Yeah.
slink down in my chair so
okay.
I wouldn't
That's
have to fucking
Is
talk
this
to
one
them.
of the friends that you're worried about?
No, what I meant was like I also have friends from. I feel like if you're friends with me for long enough, you just become like extended family, and it's people that I probably wouldn't still be friends with, but I've just known them for so long.
Yeah.
That most of our friendship is when we talk, me being like, "How you doing, man? You all right? Things seem crazy for you. I'm seeing those posts. I'm worried." Or like you just, you know what I mean? Like it's just like
if you ever need to talk,
it becomes like a sibling or something, or like an extended family member who you're just like, they're in my life forever because they helped me bury a hooker 20 years ago. But like, it's not like our lives have maybe gone different ways,
Yeah.
but I still care about them.
And you're like,
I
you got to
understand.
stop burying hookers.
I mean,
we did that
yeah.
once.
One
that was
time,
a one-time deal. I'm not gonna keep doing that for you.
Can you imagine the guilt if you did kill a hooker and you buried them in a shallow desert grave outside of Las Vegas? And then you just, every time you see them, you have to be like, yeah, how about those?
Staying away from those
how about
hookers,
those
huh?
commanders? And then you just like, and you're with your eyes, you're like, we killed someone. That would be the worst feeling to have killed someone.
I think you'd have to then kill that other person.
Well, that's in the movie.
That's
obviously you have to do that.
Yeah, because two people can't keep a secret.
Nobody can keep a secret. That's like
Well, one person can keep
That's
a
the
secret.
biggest reason why I knew that 9/11 wasn't an inside job.
I know.
Too many secrets must be kept.
I think
Dude,
John
that's the
Oliver
thing.
had a thing about that, like the conspiracy theory, like the moon landing, 9/11, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
there's in it, you know, so many people. There's like a formula you can do that eventually someone would tell someone,
Yes.
and it would get out, and it would, you know, there would be evidence that would surface, right? Like it would be
Yeah.
impossible to completely erase, you know, any, you know, conspiracy theory like
Unless you're killing people.
Well,
Yeah.
but then at the same time, and not that I'm arguing in favor of conspiracy theories, but
Tell
then,
us why it
let's do
was an inside job, Sean.
No, but I was gonna say on the same time, like then you have like Marvel movies where like some big actor will have like a surprise part in it, and like hundreds of people made that fucking movie.
Yeah.
How is it that that didn't get out?
They signed NDAs.
But even then, I'm just saying that
The
like
NDA
every
is-
Yeah.
person that to the studios that did the special effects to
I
the
guess you
set,
could
like
get fired.
that. I mean, I think that's impressive. Now, again, I work for the government, so it just is like, yeah, nobody. That's why it's like there's no way that they could be
So
super
Sean
geniuses,
knows.
and I
he
know where
knows
all
about 9/11
I
and
do
the moon
know.
landing
yeah. Well, I mean, it was same thing. So it was
and the truth about milk.
Yeah,
what's the
do
truth
you
about milk?
Look, we'll get to that later.
That's
I mean,
that's for another episode.
I can answer how people keep secrets about movies. It's easy. It's that the industry is impossible, and if you've gotten to the place where you can make movies, and they would replace you in a second. So people are just scared. They're like, it's worth it for them to shut up about when they sign NDAs. Like my wife won't tell me. Like she'll be like, somebody was on set today. I'm like, who? And she's like, I can't tell you. I signed an NDA. I'm like, fuck that.
Wow.
We're married. Tell
Yeah.
me. But,
Through interpretive
but
dance.
She's 100% right, because then I would come on here and I'd be like, fucking Hugh Jackman was on my wife's podcast. And then I'll be like, oh, I can just bleep out his name. And then I'd forget. And then I would publish a podcast with me leaning over So you have to be careful with it in that regard.
I guess that makes sense.
But I also I do believe in that there's aliens
Well, yeah.
on Earth.
Tom DeLonge with
Like I'm fully with Tom DeLonge. I'm 100% on board. And like I don't know, people have I've got a friend whose wife works in the government, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my wife interviewed him. He's full of shit." And I'm like, oh, "Okay, I guess I don't believe it now because you said your wife is full." Fuck that. Like I think that stuff. There's enough evidence has leaked out to where you're like, all right, there's something.
yeah,
going
there is
on
evidence.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, if you just think about it, the universe and how big it is. I mean, there's got to be. I don't know.
There's got to be.
It's a fun thing to believe.
It's fun to imagine
the
somebody.
alien thing is fun.
To somebody going
the 9/11 thing.
Well, that's the thing. So, do you believe that there are literally aliens living among us, or just they've crashed on our planet and we have the bodies in a bunker somewhere?
I think we have the bodies in the bunker.
Okay.
I think we've got their ships in a bunker.
Okay.
I think they visit us all the time. Or maybe not they visit us, but I think an AI version of them visits us.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have to have better technology than we would.
So it's not them. It's not like a little green man going, "No, landing in Santa Fe."
Oh man, I
it's
wish.
It's like their version of a robot.
Okay.
Is driving a ship to take photos.
They're probes, if you will.
They're probes, exactly. And they've even said the dead pilots that they've recovered are they don't call them aliens. They call it organic life matter.
Yes.
Which makes me think it's maybe the goo from Alex Mack. Remember? Dun, 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 dun. It's silver goo.
I freaking love Dolores.
It's also the same. It's the same thing was the Terminator 2.
Yeah.
When he that type of material maybe. I think that's what's flying the ship.
All right.
I do think that's a better explanation for what has come out than
that definitely fits with the narrative that you've heard, because that's what they've said, or that one guy who was the government,
David Grush.
said that they have recovered, but then he wouldn't go so far as to say that they were alien beings.
The thing that's compelling about Grush is that he's not on the fucking Joe Rogan podcast being and then I saw this. He's gone through but he's going through a process that was approved by Congress. So it's if he was lying, he could get prison time. Mm-hmm. So he's not just a whistleblower. They made whistleblower legislation, and everything he's saying, the Pentagon has been you can say that, you can't say that, you can say that. Mm-hmm. So when he's coming on stage being we have documents of 12 ships that we've the Pentagon went, tell them that.
Yeah.
So either the Pentagon's in on it, or it's fucking true.
Well, yeah, and
it's
there
either
was
a
that
psyop, or it's either way. It's the biggest story of all time, and people are seeing it and then clicking off to jerk off to Taylor Swift videos, and you're how the fuck?
Yeah, I remember it came out.
It
was not a bigger thing.
It's nobody cares.
Why? Why is that?
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
Think about it. There's aliens,
But that's not what they said.
There's non-organic. There's organic
I'm just saying
life.
That
matter.
could mean anything. And then so I go the other way.
Yeah, is that the economy? That's what I care about.
But what is this
Are
doing
aliens
to
the
the stock
economy?
market? No, but what I go with
Sure, you
that,
vote Democrat. You're sounding.
no, what I go with is that that was absolutely approved by the Department of Defense because they wanted to take attention away from something else. That's where I go
Well,
with
that's
my
psyop.
conspiracy.
You
The
think
real
it's
aliens.
psyops.
But not there's aliens that are oh, we accidentally killed somebody in a country that we weren't supposed to be in. So let's be aliens. Everybody over here. Look, that's where I go.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
But
Either one could be true.
Either one could be true. I definitely do think that there are aliens or other life out there. The universe is too big for us to be the only one. That would just be kind of weird and sad.
My
That
wife
was
is
it.
big on what do you call it? The interdimensional. Have you heard about that one?
Yeah.
So it's that there's an alien right here, right next to us in a fourth dimension. There's two aliens fucking.
Just
right.
They fucking.
If we're gonna go that
fapping
deep
is
into the thought
fap,
process.
fap. But we can't hear it or see it. And the only way that our lives would be affected is if we drop a nuke right here in the center of this town. So that's why they only show up near.
Can't they be having brunch? Why do you?
All right, maybe they're having brunch, followed
That's the
by
thing.
a FAP session. the likes of which you've never seen before.
Are they aware of us?
Yes.
So they're aware of us, but we're not aware of them.
So there's multiple layers on top of each other that
folded in.
Yeah.
And that's like, and that they're not visiting us. They're
kind of like
already here.
Inception of the multiverse.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that they think like, again, like if you subscribe to this theory, they think that's why when they look at the video, like you've heard the pilots like watching, going like, oh my God, like when they're watching, and this is like Sully-like people who, when they're about to die, go, we're going to be in the Hudson. Like they have no emotion.
Yeah.
But then when they look at these ships, they're going like, holy fuck, Jim. Oh God, I'm gay. Like they're just losing their minds. So it's eliciting that out of like Stonehearts.
Yeah, there you go. Right
so
back
like,
to it.
I think those videos look that the movements look crazy because it's in another dimension. So it's like if that's why it doesn't make sense that an object is traveling that fast, that's that size, or moving that way, because we're not supposed to be looking at it. We can't see it the way it actually exists.
That's fair.
So I don't know. Either way, it's if you think about it for too hard, your brain starts hurting, and you're like, I need to, throw on an episode of Raw. Catch up with these new wrestlers.
That's what I do.
And then the Undertaker comes back, and you're like, something I understand, something
familiar.
I can.
Well, yeah, like John Cena just came back for a little bit during the Hollywood strike because he had nothing else to do.
Everybody's back for.
And then literally the strike ended, and he left. He was like out.
He was right out.
Yeah, he literally was just like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my real job now.
Does The Rock ever come back?
I think
he was.
The Rock comes back whenever he fucked up. He said like, I can't remember what it was, but he said a rich person thing that.
Was it about like the Hawaii thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, why aren't more people donating?
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck you,
yeah,
dude.
He partnered with Oprah.
I remember that.
Oprah literally
Please.
owns an island, and then she was trying to get everybody else to pay for the island that she owns.
Yeah.
And then The Rock was just like, yeah, guys,
help
let's
out
do
Oprah.
it.
Yo, let's get behind this now skinny lady's fucking island fund. And people were like, fuck you, Rock. And then he came back to SmackDown to be like, hey, I'm still the people's champ.
I'm the people's champ.
And I'm gonna embarrass this. But he also he can't go on the mic like he used to.
No.
Because back in the day when he would go after people on the mic, he'd be like a fucking racist or misogynist, fun. He would have fun on the mic.
That was the attitude era of WWE.
Yeah, we could say fun/wrong, but mostly fun. And
oh man, as 12-year-olds, that was the greatest thing ever.
now he can't do any of that stuff.
No.
So now it's like he has to has to roast people
by just saying that their haircut is funny.
There's no Triple H showing up to a museum to fuck Kane's dead sister. Fun.
Just a good old time.
Fun promos.
Family entertainment.
Yeah.
Telling everybody to suck it all the time,
I remember there was one episode where The Undertaker buried Stephanie McMahon alive in a field.
Yeah.
Killed her. There was another one where they hung the Big Boss Man. They just hung him, and the episode ended. He was just.
Dude, they crucified Stone Cold Steve Austin to the Undertaker's symbol, which was very cross-like, but not a cross, but very cross-like.
It was a very crucifixion style.
And he's just tied to it, and the entire time he's like, all right. Hey, get me down from here! Hey, Undertaker! What is he supposed to do while he's tied to this cross?
They didn't actually drill holes into his hand. And fucking no, it's the thing
that's not authentic.
Were you there when they crucified Stone Cold?
Oh man, he would have Stone Cold stunnered the shit out of Pontius Pilate, dude. That guy wouldn't have gotten close to crucifixion
They
day.
crushed the beer in his head. And led everyone to the promised land.
Dude, hell yeah, dude. If Stone Cold was leading, the Jews during Moses' time,
They would have made it there
I'm
in a lot
telling you,
earlier than
man,
40 years.
Pharaoh was going down.
Dude, we watched that movie recently.
Which one? The Heston?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
I went
Prince of Egypt.
went on a little trip with some friends, and we had Risk. So we're like, all right, this game is going to take us 6 hours.
I've never played it.
And
it's an insane.
I know about it.
game.
I've never played it.
And with the beach house where we were at had, it was great because it had all the DVDs, right? Like you didn't have to scroll through Netflix to look for a movie, which I hate now. You could just see everything instantaneously. And it had the 10 Commandments or the Charlton Heston. It's called
Yeah.
the 10 Commandments, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like
Pretty sure there's still
220 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it's long.
right. And
Yeah.
so we put it on, and like we weren't watching it, right? But yeah, it's a great movie.
I'm sure it is, man.
It's
it
a
has
great
to-
movie. I just
Those old movies.
There's a lot of it's a little risque. I feel like looking back on it, there's a lot of see-through clothing, and it's just
well, Heston was the heartthrob.
yeah.
yeah.
So like back then, like
Oh, yeah.
you it was a weird mix of like the ladies still wanted to see. And the men, like the men wanted to look at a guy like that because it's aspirational.
Yeah, the
to
first
look
half
like
of the
that.
movie, like when he's an adult, he's shirtless.
Well, there's a scene in Ben-Hur where he's shirtless.
Yeah.
And like he's talking to somebody, and the
Yeah.
guy says, "You're nothing but a Jew" or something. And he like the way he like arches his back and like flexes his muscles. And I remember like watching it, being like, "This is like pretty." Sexual, like I know it's like the what's happening on screen isn't sexual, like the text, but the fucking visual of it. It's
I'm
like,
getting turned on. I mean,
but I think that's like how you had to do it. Like back then, like they still wanted like sex still sells.
yeah,
it
but
always
you had to be a little bit more subtle about it.
yeah. So you
just
to,
had the flex.
You had to put in a movie
had
called
to-
The fucking 10 Commandments. You had to have like a Hollywood heartthrob with his shirt off,
Yeah, right?
being like, God says to do not covet thy neighbor's wife. But you cover these fucking.
You can cover
At that point in the movie, his shirt is on. Yeah, right.
No, it's like it's definitely sexual,
Yeah.
and like now it's like you can make an argument that it was sexier to do that than it is to just have it all out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
Subtlety,
feel like
you know,
if you
like-
made the 10 Commandments now, it'd be like authentic, like dark, like everyone's dirty.
Who would you
'cause-
cast as
Yeah,
Moses?
Demi Lovato could play the devil.
Timothy Chalamet is Moses.
He's like a weak, fragile man.
He's Moses and Moses' wife. he
He plays,
plays
a dual role.
both.
Yeah, like in the Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Same thing.
Yo, Parent Trap, Lindsay Lohan, underrated performance from a 8-year-old or whatever.
I don't think it's underrated. I think that
You think
was
it's rated perfectly? She's great.
I think she gets like that was. I mean, that launched her career.
But like
for-
not, but yes, but not like.
I don't think anybody looks at that and goes, eh. Like I
This
feel
is-
like everybody's like, yeah, no, the Parent Trap was where it was at.
This is how I look at it. I think she's one of the greatest actors of her generation. I'm not even kidding. I think she's an incredible actress.
Yeah.
But I think she obviously got like fucked up and stuff.
I mean,
but
yeah,
like
she
that
was-
movie, to be doing that when you're a kid, like kid actors are terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like think of the good ones. You give yourself a Lohan, you give yourself a Joel Osment.
Macaulay Culkin.
He's not that good.
As a kid?
He's not a good kid actor. He's just cute, and he's in a very famous movie, but he's not like
Home Alone, and then what's the other one?
I don't know, Richie Rich.
Oh, that one. But
Good
then the
Son.
one with where he dies at the end.
My girl.
Oh, my girl.
Yeah, I think
These
he was.
things.
Was he younger than when he was in Home Alone for that one?
I think
it
My
was-
Girl was after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo,
He was
you
also
can't-
in The Good Son, where he was like a psychopath.
I don't remember that
Yeah.
one.
I don't think of him as a great child actor. He's a famous child actor.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like kids with like performances where you're like, holy fuck, that kid can really
Yeah, no, Lindsay
Act.
Lohan in The Parent Trap playing two roles, even with an accent. I
convincingly.
mean, like, no,
like
she
crying
nailed it.
scenes and
Yeah, no, she did a great job.
Very
That
good.
that is, but again, I don't feel like anybody does play that down. I feel like she got like a lot of accolades for that, and then
she won an Oscar. They should have child Oscars.
They should
And
have
she should have
child
won
Oscars. And,
Yes.
Whoever won the Oscar that year fucking stole
they
it.
should turn the Kids' Choice Awards into the Kid Oscars.
I'm not-
Was Nickelodeon around back then?
Look, could Haley Joel Osment have won Best Supporting Actor for Sixth Sense? He's eligible, right? He should have. Whoever won it that year.
yeah.
The youngest Oscar winner of all time,
It was Natalie Portman, right?
I think it was Natalie Portman.
Oh,
yeah.
for that the movie where she's like the kid and with the
Professional.
Professional.
Did she win for
No,
that?
I don't think it was that one.
No, maybe it wasn't that.
Well, what did she win for?
No, not Natalie Portman. Who am I thinking of?
James Gandolfini.
Yes.
No. Do you remember True Blood?
Yes.
Who's the girl in True
Anna
Blood?
Paquin.
Anna
Yes,
Paquin.
Anna Paquin
Yes.
in
Fly Away Home.
No.
Goonies.
No, it was some
Bastards of Young.
Was it the piano or the pianist?
Pianist.
No,
Or-
she wasn't in that movie.
No, it was some.
We could look it up.
It's the cello.
But we're just gonna guess. 'Cause
We're just gonna guess.
Do you have a part of your podcast where people look stuff on their
I have
phones?
a part of my podcast where we do this, and people start to look for their phones, and I go, "Don't do it. Enjoy not knowing."
But that's legit because now
But
with
Anna
this,
Paquin did win an
I-
Oscar, and she was very young.
Yes, I never
know that.
wonder anything anymore because if I have a question, I'm just gonna look it up.
He doesn't wonder. He's
I
lost
don't.
his sense of wonder.
I have no because if I do, like this exact conversation is like, oh, who is that person? It's like, oh, yep, that's what it was.
But
That
isn't
was,
it, but think about this movie, this moment right now. You don't know what movie she won for.
yeah,
Yeah. It's a mystery.
no, I know.
Sit in it.
and then it
There's
continues the conversation.
Excitement.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And there is something that it is almost a shame in being able to know.
I know.
Like it just like I mean, or even just like when people would argue about like sports shit, like to go away from movies or something. But like, oh yeah, no, who's won more titles? And you would sit there just like of what you think, and you could like argue with your buddy in a bar about like whatever. And then
But
now
if
you
you
literally
were
just can go
convincing
nope,
enough-
Yep, this is how many. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
there's probably
sucks.
less fights, but you know,
Less fight. Yeah. Well, now, yeah. I don't know.
That's
I
what's wrong with the world. Less fights.
just less
Le-
fighting.
It's not less fighting. It's like it's things that we should fight about and have fun with. We don't.
Right.
Like it's fun to fight about sports stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
'cause
it's not
most
actually-
people know that it doesn't mean anything.
Most people, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who got beaten to death outside of a Dodgers game and now he can't drink in the parking lot. That guy would probably be like, "It hurt me. Fuck you. You can't stick up for yourself in a fight. Now I can't get drunk." No, I'm just, if that guy's watching, I'm sorry for your injuries.
I didn't know. It was
Oh man, was beaten to death, and I'm like, you fucking.
Shouldn't have worn the other jersey.
I'm not even blaming the
Was he a
guys that beat
Dodgers
him up.
fan or was he a?
I think it was it's either a Giants fan beat up by Dodgers fan,
This sounds vaguely familiar.
or
I mean, being an Eagles fan
it must.
and
I
going
know
to
it
the
was in LA.
games,
I
you
know it was in LA, so I'm going to assume it was a Giants fan getting beat up by Dodgers fans.
I think you're right.
But then
Yeah,
they made it. You
hate
can't
each
drink it. You can't or tailgate
no,
at a
you
baseball
can't.
game.
But I don't
Wait,
know.
the guy that was doing the beating?
No, because of that.
Because the
now
guy
they
was
have
be-
a rule
because the
that
guy
you
was
can't-
beat into
okay.
Yeah,
that
but
state.
Quite frankly, I mean, that's been the case here on the East Coast now for a while.
They don't let
Like,
people tailgate.
I don't
You
know.
can't do that at FedEx Field?
for baseball games, I would say. I don't know. Football games are different because the NFL needs
Because
that
I
money.
went to a Maryland. I went to go see Maryland, West Virginia, and we were getting fucking lit in the parking lot.
but it was football, right?
It's football,
Right. I was saying for baseball
It
games.
was lines of cocaine.
Like you can't tailgate
All
at
on the-
Camden.
Well, why can't you tailgate?
You
why
can't?
could you
No.
tailgate for a Ravens game and not an Orioles game?
That's a very good question.
But there's restaurants that are right there.
And
I
that's
think that's why.
what they want you to do.
like. There's nothing in
Baltimore-
FedEx Field.
Yeah, FedEx you can tailgate at. There's
And then Nats Park,
there's not a football
there's
game
no
you
place
can't
to
tailgate
At Nats
because-
Park, there's
yeah,
But
There's restaurants.
baseball, I don't know
it
if
seems so
they're-
arbitrary. It seems so arbitrary that they'd let you drink at one and not the other.
well, I don't know. When you think of tailgating, you don't really think of baseball games,
I mean,
unless it's the Dodgers.
I tailgate
Yeah.
a First Communion, so I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
would you
Like,
would you really tailgate at a first communion?
I tailgate anything. If it be hanging out before tailgating's fucking awesome. You hang
Yeah.
out, you have some drinks, have some food, like throwing
At
a
a
ball around,
parking
like
lot,
whatever.
any time of day or night.
Before you
like
go to
The cop comes by. Hey, what are you doing? I'm tailgating.
No, but actually, when
Go on your way.
When Nat
It's a
Stadium
free pass.
When Nat Stadium first opened up, me and some friends still went to RFK.
Yeah.
and we tailgated. There wasn't even a game there. They were over
no
at
law, yeah.
because they were shuttling people. So because the parking garage wasn't open yet. So people were still parking at RFK, and they were literally shuttling them over to Nats Park. And so we just went. we
Wait,
didn't
what?
have tickets.
Where Nats Park is now?
Yeah, so the stadium was open, but the parking garage wasn't. So there was no parking.
Well, why
at
would
Nats
you go to
Stadium.
RFK?
Because
There's
that's
a
where the
shuttle.
parking
There's a
was.
metro at
But-
Nats Park.
Right, but not everybody takes the metro. So
Okay, then you're just being impractical at this point.
people.
I mean,
but anyway, regardless, we
so
still
you just wanted
went,
to drink
Yes,
in
so
a
we
parking
still
lot.
just went to RFK,
Like
set
this
up. We were not going to the
story has no
game and
credibility
just
now.
drank and threw a ball around, and it was great. set up a grill, and the shuttle even came
They
out.
weren't
You
even
guys-
playing that day. The guy's like,
There was a
this is a
game.
shuttle to the senior living home. Like, yeah! How do we get here? Do you guys have the baseball game on the TV?
Listen, you do what you got to.
Did you do the switch to Washington teams, or were you like Baltimore teams before that?
No,
you
no,
mentioned Orioles.
I'm a New York fan. So
You're a Giants fan.
yes. So
Your life
Giants,
sucks right now.
Yankees. Oh yeah.
My life sucks
How
right
are you
now,
in New
too.
York? Is your family from there?
Yeah, my family's from New York. And
But you,
I mean,
you have an awesome quarterback. He's
Can we
Italian.
talk about Cutlets? Tommy Cuts.
Tommy Cuts.
So much fun.
I mean,
so much
more
fun.
fun than Daniel Jones, but
Was his agent
but
really
I
dressed
am-
like that, or was that a bit?
I think that's really how he dresses.
Yeah, I would
The
imagine.
guy that dresses he I know we've mentioned the devil multiple times. He actually dresses like the devil would.
He probably-
all black and a fedora. And he's the
I
most
think
fun
He's like
dude ever.
the Elizabeth Hurley character
Yes,
and Bedazzled.
I literally had that thought when I saw him. I was
See,
like,
yeah.
this is fun.
He
Yeah.
he reminds me of Father Guido Sarducci.
Okay.
Do you know
Wait, what's his name?
Father Guido Sarducci?
Guido.
This is a
Sarducci.
character.
Okay, all right.
He was I think it was on SNL. It was like a character. Like there's a comedian that's what.
Is Guido a slur? I thought Guido was a slur. But
Anything can be a slur if you say it hateful enough.
Okay.
I mean, it just.
I say Guido like lovingly.
And that's the thing. I think it's one of those
I
depending
Guido
on how you
you.
say it.
I Guido.
No, but
This could be a very bad thing. I don't know. I don't know if this is bad.
If we
You know-
hop on the internet, they're talking about no phones. If we talk on the internet after this podcast and we're like, oh God, you got to
You
cut
know-
that entire section.
you know who you'd probably know remember the movie Casper?
Yeah.
of course.
So remember the scene where they're trying the different exorcists, and so it's like that's where like Ray Stans from Ghostbusters comes in, and there's that priest.
Yeah.
That's Father Guido Sarducci. So
Okay.
he was a character. He was like and his whole thing was he's a priest and he's like
Yeah.
very Italian or whatever, and like so that's Father Guido Sarducci. So that's what
That's
his
the
agent
reference.
reminds me of is because he has the hat, he's wearing all black, he's got the chain.
It's so much fun. I watched the only way I can get my wife into football is I show her like the stories of a player.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, oh, I like him.
kind of like wrestling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta have the
I mean,
story.
yes, you need the backstory.
Yes.
So I showed him. She's from New York, and we lived there for 11 years. So I'm like, I can get her into anything if the New Yorker is Italian enough and is just talking
Oh,
about
this is-
meats or cheeses. So it was like a video of Tommy DeVito's like the bar in the town he lives in because
Yeah.
he still lives with his parents.
Yeah.
And it's a guy being like, you know, I babysat Tommy when he was a kid. He's a good kid. Yeah. I said I wanted extra provolone. Like it's a guy ordering food and talking to it. Like wouldn't stop his order to like talk to a fucking news camera. I was like, if I show this to Liz, we'll get to watch the Eagles Giants on Christmas.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she was like, oh, I think I'm a Giants fan again. This is great.
I love it. I love it so much.
I'm an Eagles fan.
Yes.
I'm supposed to hate the Giants. I'm supposed to hate
Well,
them.
it's also easy to not hate them
'Cause we've been
when
kicking
they're
your ass.
so beneath it. It's like, oh, you guys.
But
The only team real hate is the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yes,
Yeah.
we should all hate the Cowboys.
Yes.
But like part
I
of the
hate
reason
Washington.
I lived in New York for
I
a
hate
long.
Washington too, and I'm a Washington fan.
I feel it's not even fun talking shit on Washington
Right.
fans. They hate themselves more than
you don't have to
can.
do it. That's why
we
I
have a
love it
bright
so
future
much.
ahead, though.
No, like I'll be with
You
my.
always do.
I'll be with my.
No,
bro-
we actually do.
I'll be with my brother-in-law, and I almost said the Redskins. I'm gonna say it.
I'm gonna say it.
The Redskins.
It's a historical.
It's a historical
the team.
thing. Yeah, the Reds. I almost I was like the
I don't
dirty,
know.
but I didn't do
Okay,
that.
I don't know.
dwell on it.
WWE still calls himself W. They don't pretend they were ever WWF anymore.
Okay,
so
look, I was the Washington football team would win a game, and I'd be with my brother, and I'd be like, "Hey, this is pretty good," and he would just literally like as they're winning the game, be like, "It won't matter," like the lack of hope.
Wait, is he a Washington football
his whole
team?
life? Yes.
Your brother?
brother-in-law.
Oh, brother-in-law. Excuse me.
Yeah, married
I
my
was like-
sister. That's what brother-in-laws typically.
I
All right. Yeah, it's like it's not fun to talk shit on them anymore.
Yeah.
And it was fun to talk shit on the Giants until you guys got bad.
then we were really
well,
bad.
you do have 2 Super Bowls in the last
That's-
like 10
yeah, no,
years.
and
that's
your
what I
Super
mean,
Bowls
like-
are so fucking epic, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
were wild cards. You beat an undefeated team.
Yeah.
The ball catching
Wait, it was
between
New
like
England
the,
twice, right?
Yeah, it was we beat
Yeah, the
Tom
David
Brady.
Tyree
Undefeated.
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Look,
It's
I'm not.
I think the best fan experience is either your team sucks or they randomly win the Super Bowl every 10 years.
Yes.
Like, because then
Like
you get,
when the
because you get
Nationals-
to do it all. You get to
Yeah.
hate them,
Yeah.
and you get to love them, and you get to have surprise.
Now and then, so to go back, the one local team I'm a Caps fan.
Yes.
So I am a Caps fan. So that because I became a fan in college because I was like, you know what, I want one local team I can root for, and then going to school in the city, they would have college nights. So
Yeah.
like $20, you got a
Yeah.
ticket and a pizza. Like they literally gave you a coupon for like a Papa John's pizza, and
Yeah,
you got
the
a seat
entire pizza.
because they sucked. They were
Yeah.
terrible. They had just signed Alex Ovechkin.
Yes.
And I remember like they would like send him out to like go through the line where people were waiting to get their pizza vouchers, like whatever. And it's like no idea that this kid's about to be like, you know, one of the greatest to ever play. And he's just like, hello, nice to meet you. Like, you know, like just
love
dead
good
on Alex
pizza.
Ovechkin.
That's
by the
very
way.
good.
And then anyway, so I was like, oh yeah. So when they then won the Stanley Cup, that was huge. Of course, then I
Yes.
felt like I've only been a fan for like the last 15 years, but
Yeah.
still I'll take it.
Yeah.
The Caps are good this year.
They're-
They had a slow start.
They had a slow start, but they're picking back up. So I'm excited about that.
They were not supposed to be good, and it was supposed to
It was
primarily be like all about Ovechkin chasing that goal.
yes, just him getting to what is it, 800?
What's he trying to be, like the top goal scorer?
Right? Over
yes.
Gretzky.
Yeah,
right?
he's trying to be
Whatever the
Gretzky's
number
Over
is.
record.
Gretzky.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got like 70 more goals or something.
Yeah, he's got a while, but he's on track to do it. But
he's like around our age though, right?
he is.
or-
I think he's like 38, 39.
I remember he had some
so-
tough questions to answer during the Ukraine war. He didn't have fun answering those questions.
You can tell that guy is just like I'm dead either way, no matter what. Like I say, like he's just like I
because he has
can't.
family in Russia.
He literally.
So what
yeah.
the fuck are you
What is he
supposed to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just even if he does support Russia, which you know, I get it if he does. He's
Yeah.
Russian, but if he doesn't, he can't say shit.
He's
Like,
got a trumpet. He's got to be like, there's good people on both
There's
sides.
good people on both sides. You know,
That becomes the line when you have family in a war zone. There's good people on both sides.
and
Yeah,
You
you're
don't want them to die.
you don't want them to suddenly have an unexplained heart attack.
Whenever I come back to do stand up here, like all my references are dated from when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, how's that mixing bowl construction going? I'll be like, I tell you what, that Russian player the Caps have is pretty good. Oli Kolzig, that guy belongs in the Hall of Fame.
What do you guys think about the Washington Bullets?
I hope they keep that name forever. Bullets.
Well, now, topical. They're moving, or they're going to try to move to
Yeah.
Virginia.
Yeah.
So instead of
Wait,
have you not heard this?
the Redskins
No. The Caps and the Wizards.
are moving to Virginia?
Yeah.
How have you, this
Potomac
is a
Yards.
huge sports story. Yeah.
What?
So basically, Ted
Ted Leonsis,
Leonsis had a press conference this week with the governor, and they want to move to Potomac Yard, which is south of Crystal City, like Alexandria.
Yeah.
And they want to
used to live
do
right by
like Wizards, Caps, obviously have like a music
Like a venue, just a
like
whole
all this
mixed-use
retail
arena.
stuff. I guess because Capital One Center where they play now in Chinatown, I guess it needs a lot of upgrades and a lot of. So it's this whole thing like.
Well, it's so funny to think of like all these places we went when they were brand new, and now people are
Yeah,
like,
right?
it's old, it's shitty.
No,
get rid of it.
I mean, it's the Verizon Center. It's the MCI Center. It's whatever center it was,
It is the
right?
MCI Center.
It's still
Yeah.
the MCI Center.
Right?
It should stay the MCI
Yeah.
Center.
So
like
the joke
Blockbuster.
is, or I'm gonna say a joke. I mean, so now the Wizards, they're the Washington Wizards. Now the Virginia Wizards.
That's the joke.
The Virginia
No,
Grand
but
Wizards.
what-
We can tell who
The
plays
Klan?
music in this.
The
canon.
Klan.
The what?
You got to think about it.
they're the Grand
The
Wizards.
Virginia Wizards.
The Virginia Wizards.
What wizards would have lived in Virginia way long ago?
And they didn't.
Oh, like the Grand Wizards?
That's what I literally said.
But the
like,
DC could have had KKK people
No.
too.
No. It's
Why?
Chocolate City.
Well, it wasn't in 1801. It was.
Well, it
But I don't
was
think they
just
were
that was
there.
when-
They were in Virginia.
Yeah.
If you knew your history, that'd be a hilarious joke.
Was Virginia was the northernmost southern state.
Correct.
Yes.
And Maryland was like
The
in
southernmost northern state.
yes.
Yes.
And there was like a lot of like which side. Like if you keep driving on this road that we're on, you get to I'm gonna not say names.
Don't say names.
You get to oh fuck it, I'll say the name. It's called White's Ferry.
Yeah. But it's closed, and that's closed down now.
Yeah, but not because of the racism.
No,
element of
because
it.
of racism, just because it wasn't
because
economical.
It's a fucking ferry in
No,
2024.
But really funny. Like, I was literally picking my kid up from a sleepover this morning on the other side of the river, and I'm literally looking at the map. It's like I'm 10 miles from where I need to be, but instead I had to drive all the way down to come all the way down.
It's a whole thing here with like they want this part. Like Maryland wants to stay rural.
Yeah, you can tell.
They don't want bridges.
No.
They don't want like your fucking commuter horse shit.
Keep your Northern Virginia bullshit on that side of the river.
Keep your stiff in your stiff.
Look,
Yeah.
they want to bike on the roads. I almost ran over 10 bicyclists on the way here. That's all they want to do.
You hate bicyclists.
You want to exercise? Get on a goddamn Peloton.
From a young age, he hated. I remember one time. It's so weird you said that. I have a memory of like being in the car with you.
Yeah.
When you were first driving.
Uh-huh.
And you were like, there was like a bicyclist, like just minding his business on the side of the road. And you were like, I want to kill him. I want to fucking kill him. I'm going to get a thing on my car that says, do not respect the bike.
I have that on my guitar
do not
case.
share the road.
There's a sticker that says share the road, and I wrote don't.
That's so funny.
in Sharpie.
I remember you
Actively protesting.
Now, when did you do that? When did you write that?
I got a new one yesterday.
And you did that. And you wrote
In high school.
it.
Okay, because you hated it in high school.
I still hate it. I
Yeah.
got angry on the way here.
Yeah, I don't care for cyclists.
It's bad. Were you on River Road?
Just whatever. The main road. The main road.
I'm just giving psychos a map to come find me if they want to. I'm like, I'm between White's Ferry and River Road. No, like
out
River
the window right
There's
now.
just
I
a man.
see. Eric. Eric.
The funniest.
Where are you?
The funniest part of me protecting
You wouldn't know what
people's.
he was talking about until he said Stoneheart, and then
Yeah, I'm known as
Stoneheart.
I'm known
Get
as-
out here.
I'm known as Stoneheart in these parts. The funniest part of me worrying about saying names and stuff on the podcast is the idea that people listen to or watch this podcast. That we are so safe. Like 50 minutes into a podcast, you could confess
Yeah.
to murders at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You
No
would be
one's-
100%. It'll never be found.
So what you're saying is that people, even the people watching, are cool. Is what you're saying.
if
They'll be
you
like, eh.
if you confess to a murder right now,
You should
and then
have that as part of the show.
years later, murder confession, 55 minutes in. Well, this is what would happen.
Tune in, and you can't fast forward it.
Let me get through my bit. It's not that good. So you confess to a murder on the podcast, and then you go to trial for that murder. You're found innocent. What would happen is years later, like a Sarah Koenig type podcast that's trying to find that your verdict was wrong, would then find this podcast and play that clip, and people would be like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Like it's still so unpopular
your show would
that even
get
when played,
a million
people wouldn't
subscribers.
believe it.
And at that point, you're dead, but your family would be rich.
Exactly.
There, long
You'd pull a
game.
Picasso. You'd be post-mortem successful.
Yeah.
Which is, what everybody wants.
Yeah.
Not be known in their lifetime.
Isn't that fun that there's like all these guys from like the, Galileo and people like that who had to have like their cocks ripped off and fed to them before they were killed. But now we're like, man, that Galileo
happen to Galileo?
nailed it. I don't know, just anybody during like, Christianity times.
That
or
was like Rasputin, but I don't know how many often were people's
I'm pretty sure Galileo had his cock
he had
ripped
his
off.
dick ripped off. I'm pretty sure that's
Pretty much if you were...
I'm going to look this up right after the
second
show.
you looked into a telescope, people were like,
Demons!
Gotta get that guy's dick.
Time to lose that
Let's
dick.
get that.
About to eat your own
Somebody's
dick.
losing a dick.
You're not losing it, you're eating it.
I guess you're replacing it. You're just moving it.
Relocating, becoming part of you. Man, we're so creative when it comes to killing people. It's like the creativity never ends.
If only we could provide healthcare like that.
All right, fucking off. No politics. All right.
It's not political.
If only we could give everybody health care.
If only we could
I'll tell you
feed
what.
the poor
Let me tell you what
in
makes
such
this
a creative way.
The only way to incentivize people to come up with solutions for like new drugs and stuff is the fact that so many people in this country die without health care.
Yeah.
That's the only way to incentivize
go.
people.
That is it.
That is
Pretty
it.
much it.
I think we're at an hour. I actually forgot to look at time.
Have you recorded?
No, I'm definitely recording. Hang on.
How funny would it be if you didn't record? All right. Well, look, I don't know how this works.
Oh shit! Look at that, guys. We're too good of friends.
We went over our time.
Oh, we could. Do you end your podcast with like a I don't know, anything?
Sign off.
Sign off?
Like New Year's resolutions? I don't know.
Or do we just all put our microphones down and walk away from the
I never.
table?
You know what's funny? What's funny is I don't. What's funny?
Find a space because we're all aliens.
No. We end the.
No one would
I
ever
wasn't-
know. Because
And then it wouldn't air. Well, the 5 people that would watch it would know.
I actually don't know how to end my podcast.
Yeah?
Because I think I do it fine. Where I go like, I'm not ending it now, but I
Yeah.
would go, all right, guys, thanks for coming on, and you go,
Yeah.
thanks,
Thank you for having
and then
us.
and then I go.
All right.
And I
What do
never-
I do with my mic?
I'm like, how long do I?
You wipe it down?
I'm like, how long do I stare at them until I put the mic down? Do I shake their hand? Like every podcast is, I have a minute. I like die 1,000 deaths the
Okay.
second somebody thanks me. Like,
Well-
thanks for coming on. Thanks. I'm like,
If you have comedians, don't you have them plug their own stuff?
I do that before.
You did that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go like, hey, so
But
where-
you do it.
I go, where?
Should they do it?
No, sometimes at the end I'll go, do you want to plug something?
Okay.
And then they'll plug.
So what should
they
be the
can't name
treat?
anything. No
so
places,
we've already
no.
established 55 minutes in, you get like a confession to a murder, right?
confession to a murder.
So what should be the treat for listening to the full like hour plus episode
gonna
of
be the
one of your
teaser?
podcasts?
I think probably finding out that somebody murdered someone.
Yeah, that should
is
be
like,
enough.
like a secret. Like remember that it's like Conan O'Brien secrets.
I remember
right? Or,
Secrets.
like yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Can I say this? I like.
Or truth or dare.
Look,
I don't know.
look. We were all.
I'm not the podcaster here.
Listen, we were all friends in high school, so I feel okay just quoting old Conan bits at the end of this.
Sure.
But I watched the first episode of Conan is on YouTube,
Oh really?
and the show starts by him like putting his tie on and stuff and getting ready.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, all right, here we go. And then he looks up off screen and goes, and like shakes his head no, and then walks out of the room. And then the camera pans over and there's a noose. like he was gonna kill himself or start his show. And I was like, holy fuck, man, that show was brilliant.
I love
the
Conan.
idea that it came on at like 1:30 in the morning or whatever, and we would
I know.
all stay up and watch it. He could do anything.
yeah, I love.
It's
Conan.
like it was like the birthplace of so many.
I remember
comedians,
watching that
I
in
felt.
8th grade.
It's so funny.
And yeah, I mean, even the Conan podcast, right? Like
Yeah.
it I feel like
The only funny.
it started. Well, it started, and now just audio, and then now it's like is it on HBO Max or just on YouTube?
no,
or-
the HBO Max thing is he basically is doing like his travel.
The travel,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, that
which
he's
is also
doing.
good.
Which is also really good.
He's
yeah.
one of the only late night hosts that has stayed funny
and
in the
relevant,
last-
I think.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think the podcast thing, like, definitely was, I don't want to say a huge risk, but I mean, he definitely he's one of the most popular podcasts.
Well,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
what's annoying, what I will say is annoying about it, and it's not his fault, it's just he's famous, is like they treat it like Conan left his show for a podcast.
Yeah.
Conan invented podcasts.
Yes,
It's like,
yeah.
no, dude. Like, there's been podcasts for 15 years
Sure.
with comics being
Yeah.
like on like in Grand Central Station being like, I'm gonna be at the Jersey Funny Bone, and
Yeah.
like that was a thing a long time ago.
Yeah.
But he made it, I think, much more mainstream. And what's great about him is just like, I don't know, man. Like when I used to watch the Colbert Report,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is the most brilliant fucking show
Yeah.
ever. And when I lived in New York, I went to go see a taping with Liz, and we were like,
Uh-huh.
couldn't believe how he's playing a character within a character interviewing. We're like,
Yeah.
Sure.
God damn,
Yeah.
he's genius. And then like I'll watch the show now and be like, this fucking sucks so hard. Like I just
There
don't
are
like
some funny bits, but
I don't
yeah,
like any-
it's just not
it's
what
just-
it's,
it's
not the
as-
Colbert
it's not as
Report. which-
biting.
the
Yeah.
the only thing that I watch now of those guys where I'm like genuinely laughing my ass off is Conan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, to be that funny for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it's like that he got a little fucked over by the industry. So it like if you get too big,
Yeah.
you have too much to lose and your
Yeah.
comedy starts to, it's like
Yeah.
comics like an athlete. Like you've got,
Well,
Yeah.
again,
You gotta
just-
prime.
and when you're on that level, it's like, yeah, you got to play it safe. You have to be able. You still have to keep the networks happy. You still have to do what is expected of you.
Yeah.
And then, once he went to TBS, he's still just like, all right, fuck it. What else?
and now that he's not, and like even the TBS show, it's like, I'm going to leave that for a podcast. And
Yeah.
now he's
Yeah.
doing, now he doesn't
Yeah,
have
and
his,
he- and he
a
can do
boss the
whatever he
same
wants.
way. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I just think he's the greatest late night host of all time.
Agreed.
People talk about Letterman like he's fucking God. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I think, but he was before us.
I know.
I mean, for a lot of
Him
people,
and Leno. Yeah.
Yeah, they. I
I
mean,
do like Leno. Leno burned his fucking face off and then went to Flappers
Oh my
that
God.
night.
Did he really?
Yes, I'm past at Flappers. I remember like being there the next day. They're like, Leno's performing. I'm like, the guy with the fucking face burns is on stage right now. Yeah, he like wouldn't stop. He's like, he burned it. He was on fire.
What-
And he came to do his Flappers. Like, you don't want to
mean,
let down.
what-
You guys don't perform at Flappers. I don't think
No.
this is hitting. Flappers is like a comedy club in LA with a reputation that is a reputation.
I've followed enough of your references over when you do your listing of shows, and then you always do Flappers.
The idea
I've,
that you would
I've gotten the gist of
The idea that you would be lit on fire and then go to your Flappers show
Yeah.
makes me love Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Irregardless of anything else he's ever done.
I mean,
I'm
that's
like,
the thing. That the dude has always consistently done stand up. He's always said that is his love. Like the Tonight Show was one thing, but like he was a stand up, and he always wanted to be a stand up, and he will
Yeah.
do stand up until he dies. So like I give him props for that.
He's also one of those old guys that just has an insane philosophy where he's like he never has a special, and people are like, "Why don't you do a special?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't like them. I don't think you should have specials. Come see the show."
Yeah.
No, he does. He just
Yeah.
wants to be out on the road
It's
and
stupid.
doing shows.
It's a stupid thing that he's saying. It makes no fucking. Well, just do a special, you idiot. Why would you not
but
make
why-
a special?
Well, after he
what
dies.
what does he need money for? Like I'm just.
But why wouldn't you like just for like prosperity? Is it prosperity? Posterity's sake?
Longevity?
posterity?
Posterity. Is it
Yeah.
posterity's sake?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
think
sure
I'm saying
there's
the wrong
recordings. He just hasn't.
word. Where?
I don't-
But I don't
There's
know
his-
because you're
there's-
right.
There's his.
Someone
Tonight-
has recorded.
There's his Tonight Show shows,
Yeah.
which are.
Like, did he ever even have like an album?
That's what I'm saying. No,
Right.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
The only like recorded stand up he has is the stuff he did in the Tonight Show, which is his fucking writers, and he's making
Yeah,
it
right,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
for Middle America. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to see actual Leno jokes, and
You gotta go to
apparently
the
he
show.
crushes,
Yeah,
you got
that's
to go
what I
to
heard.
fucking Flappers.
Well,
you
gotta
go to-
earn it.
You got to go to Flappers in Burbank, California. It's like, dude, just put something on Netflix. What are you doing?
No.
He wants to go to Flappers.
No.
He wants.
I think that's awesome.
I think you're wrong. And
I
he's
mean,
wrong.
Yeah,
I
but
would-
you have that experience.
That's the thing.
Nobody else can have that unless they go in person.
Well, look where I am and look where
Why
Jay
don't you
Leno
turn on
is.
Netflix?
I mean, that's the thing.
You don't
I
earn
would,
Netflix.
I would love to be at his level of success.
You earn
where
Flappers.
You can be almost. What's the word? We're doing this so well. Of not knowing where to-
Intransigent.
He takes a
Yes.
new Porsche
where
to every
you can
show.
look at doing just a comedy
Whatever you
club
want to do.
and still being in love with that. Like there's that level of, because obviously any comedian, any performer wants to be doing the arenas, wants to be having everybody
Yes.
watching you, like whatever.
Yeah.
But to be so successful, which he clearly has been, that you still find the allure of just performing in a tiny comedy club.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. That's kind of.
I mean, look, my
punk
career
rock.
has soared has soared to such heights that I now think of comedy clubs as nothing.
Okay, well,
But no, are you kidding me? I fucking headline once a year where my family lives.
I mean,
That's
that's
my. And then the rest of the time, I'm doing 5-minute bar shows, and I'm like, all right. Get ready for me to tell you 3 jokes and leave. Get ready to not know me at all.
And then I mean, I don't know if you want to be on the podcast, but I have so many questions for you about just your experience in comedy, and then even just now being able to say, like, as seen on like NBC, like
Yeah.
how often does that help you get indoors?
Not at all.
really.
It helps me. Well, not in LA.
I would imagine not
Not
in LA.
and not
But-
in New York because nobody gives a shit. Like
Right.
if
But
I
the
was,
Cellar Door in Frederick, Maryland
It's-
on
yeah,
Sunday
sure.
night.
I need to get what I need to get better at is like. There's so much time to like do everything. You're like, I should get on the road more. I should do my podcast more. I should get up more and do open mics and like hone my material. It's like, well, I also have a day job and I have
Yeah.
a wife and I don't have kids yet, but eventually I'll have that. And it's like, you're like, where the fuck do you get all the time
Yeah, dude.
to do this
That's-
if you haven't gotten a break in the industry yet? So I think what I've done, I guess somebody gave me this advice of like, if you have a bunch of goals, pick 2 that if you get those, it'll help everything else. And so my first goal is like actually make money at my job, which I'm doing now because I'm sleeping,
Nice.
and have a good podcast. If I do those 2 things, I'll get booked on the road more.
That's,
Yeah.
those are
'Cause
good.
I'll have
So
money.
this podcast has replaced a quarterback podcast.
The quarterback podcast is done.
Done.
Nobody liked it.
Yeah.
Nobody
And this
nobody
is-
cared about fucking Kent Graham, backup Giants quarterback in 1992. Like I thought I was like, ooh, this Kent Graham episode's gonna
So
take
is
off.
this video only or on the?
It's on both.
On both?
I renamed Bringing the Backups Podcast
Okay.
Hell. So like, if you look at the
got the
reviews on
same-
Apple Podcasts
Yeah.
for this, it's hilarious. It's
Are you
like,
allowed to do that?
do what?
That?
He
Change
just
it? Yeah.
Okay.
But the reviews don't make any sense. All the reviews are like, finally, a podcast about backup quarterbacks. And it's like, we haven't
I've been
mentioned that
looking for
once.
this for years.
Yeah, so it's like, and I haven't.
Wait a minute.
I haven't gone on IMDb and changed this. So it like,
Yeah.
if people try to Google my podcast, they're going to see the backup quarterback expert.
Yeah.
And then I haven't mentioned it for a year.
Yeah.
Until right now.
Yeah, I'm about to
There you
say. It's just now you got the plug in.
Look, we should get our plugs in and we should get out of here, and I'll try to nail the ending.
Yeah.
Sean, is there anything? Where can people find you online? Anything you got coming up?
Sean is fine, I guess, on Instagram. That's my Instagram
There's
handle.
only one Sean.
There's only one. I don't have like a separate for my personal and my comedy just because I'm lazy and I don't think anybody gives a shit. So
Yeah.
you'll also see like pictures of my kids and stuff on there too. But then every now and then, a dick joke. So like it's
Yeah. Well, horrifying when you put those things together.
Well, just don't look at it that way. And then the next show that I know of got coming up is oh fuck, I don't remember when it is. January 26th at the Electric Palm in Woodbridge. That's my next show that I know of.
Hell yeah. This will be out
so-
before then.
Yeah, so
Get to the Electric Palm.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good time. It's a good time.
Speaking of the Electric Palm, I play in a 90s rock cover band called Holding a Grunge, holdingagrunge.com. And we're actually going to be doing Band Madness at the Electric Palm.
Yeah,
Later
downstairs
in March, I believe.
it's
some point.
It's a
Yeah.
cool place.
So if you like 90s rock, holdingagrunge.com. That's also our Instagram and Twitter.
He was trying to play off that he has a weird voice when he's trying to sell shit.
Yeah.
When he did the timeshare thing, but he just went into it again. It's like this.
Hey, you want to buy some timeshare?
He's selling.
If you like Red Hot Chili Peppers, you're gonna love the Electric Palm.
Do you like the sweet
in
sounds of
March.
Sublime and the funk of Red Hot Chili Peppers? Come, holdingagrunge.com.
Do you guys ever just play like a Blink song or something?
Yeah, we play 3 Blink songs.
Which ones?
Damn It.
Damn it! I love Damn It.
What do you think we play next?
Yeah, all the small things.
Yep.
And then tell me what album.
So what's my age again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the 3 that we play.
I can't stop
So-
listening to the song "Childhood" on the new Blink
Oh, yeah.
album.
It's so weird and different.
It just makes me. I just go.
Oh, it makes you sad, too?
Where did it go?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have kids. I think once I have kids, I'll start listening to like opera and stuff.
No, you won't.
Yep. And that's the podcast.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Yo, this seriously was fun, and you guys should both be back on anytime I'm back.
Yeah.
Love to be.
Anytime.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I'll bring my guitar. Because
Don't do that.
all right.
No, can you like play and just like while we're all talking
You know
and
what?
then just
I don't want.
Come up
I
with a
don't,
theme song.
I don't want fucking background. That's too much.
wow.
You won't be present.
That's okay.
You'll be thinking
How
about your
about
next.
I'll just have it on a stand. You'll be,
Just
it'll
press-
remind people
just to show people just
that I play in a band.
This. I play this.
I could. Well,
we
we
got to mic it up, everything. Yeah.
Well, we almost recorded this at the in the garage at my mom's house, and
Okay.
it had, with all my stepdad's motorcycles.
Okay.
That would've been cool.
Yeah.
Cool background.
Could we
crap.
It would've
get
been
on
cool.
the motorcycles.
Sure, we could have, but it was too much to set up, and
Then
it
his
smelled
stepdad
like
would hit him.
it smelled like oil in there.
I like that.
That was like the least tough guy. Like it's too oily.
Oily. It's gonna smell.
No, it was like the most.
slip.
The real reason I didn't do it is because there was only a setup. There's only 2 chairs. And there's 3 of us.
In the garage, probably cold too.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sick.
It's
buddy.
not cold. It's just oily.
Oh, well,
Which is
It was perfect for a podcast.
That's the deal breaker.
There wasn't a chair.
just an oily room
Just an oily
with 2 chairs.
I was worried I was going to get too high. Like I was going to get high being in there, and like I'd
okay.
be loopy.
Yeah.
You know?
Is the oil like open containers of oil?
No, there's 4
all around.
Just,
No,
no,
you have to wade through it to get.
What's going on in
What
this
is
garage?
that doing? Does he know?
Are there like barrels?
Is he taking care of his machines?
Wait, is he a guy where you can go to fix a problem?
no. It's oily because there's 40
He puts
motorcycles.
bodies in oil drums, so he has to put the oil somewhere
Yeah, it's
because
like
he empties out.
It's like Breaking Bad. He has to decompose the corpses
with lye.
of the drug dealers here in Maryland.
And that's the podcast.
Stop
trying
being
to
a Transylvania salesman ender, whatever. It's fine. We just say all
I
we do
feel
is
like you need to have me now on all
He
your
needs
podcasts.
a sign off. He needs to sign off.
all we
I'll
do.
call in. Like, do we have special guests?
All
and
we-
that's the podcast.
All we do is say goodbye. We just say goodbye.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye and Happy New Year.
Do we say goodbye now?
Do we just say goodbye?
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.